what this video is going to show you is the purpose of verifying data in your QuickBooks Desktop file. It is integral in your data integrity maintenance procedure, essentially. What does verify data mean in QuickBooks Desktop? Well, it literally means just that. Is my data good? Basically, does my data have integrity? Um, where you would see that you need to verify your data integrity is if you're having errors in reports or transactions, performance issues, like your file is constantly crashing, kicking you out, or it's super slow. Maybe you have missing or incorrectly linked data, or you're getting constant error messages when you're using or opening QuickBooks. The best example I can always think of is if your balance sheet is off balance, right? That obviously means something is wrong. And that's when you would want to verify your data. So what verifying your data does is it has QuickBooks look at the data and goes, hey, is this how it should be? It's just looking, it's not doing the action of actually fixing the data. That's what the point of the rebuild data utility is in QuickBooks Desktop. The reason why you're going to do verify data first before you go to rebuild data is verify data is significantly faster because, again, it's just looking, not actually performing the rebuild. Verify data, to me, is something that you want to incorporate into your monthly close procedure. It's a good way to just make sure you're maintaining that data and keeping an eye on errors as they occur, and or if you need to reach out to QuickBooks for additional help. So now you're ready to verify your data. The way we do that is we go to File. We have to make sure we're in single user mode. That means you have to kick everybody else out of the file, which is the other reason why we use verify data before rebuild data. That time consumption that rebuild data uses for other people not to be able to be in the system is burdensome. So you want to make sure this is a worthwhile use of you and your team's time. So I'm in single user mode, which is why it says switch to multi-user mode. If it says switch to single user mode for you, make sure you click the button and it'll switch you over. So we're going to go to Utilities, Verify Data. Before verifying your data, QuickBooks needs to close all open windows, obviously. Make sure your work's saved or you're going to lose it. I'll hit OK. So we can see it's verifying our data integrity. This can take some time. I have a rather small file. So we can see we had no issues detected in our data, which is awesome. That's the right answers. All right. This is what it would look like if you did have system errors. So there's a little bit of everything in this verify rebuild result that I have up. If you have any system errors, this is what's going to look like. First, it's going to say, hey, we have some errors that can easily be fixed by rebuilding your file. So there are some that QuickBooks, through the rebuild utility, we're going to be able to fix. We have a memorized report that will be impacted once we rebuild it. It'll be all good to go. But then we have some errors that rebuilding our company file won't fix. What does that mean? We have to call QuickBooks support. So essentially, we're going to rebuild our file first, and then we are going to put in a ticket with QuickBooks support to be able to figure out what is the best path to resolution. There is nothing on our end that we can do to fix this, but it is impacting our data integrity. If you click into these arrows, it'll give you the detail of the transactions impacted. Along with down here, you can expand all to see them, but this just gives you essentially what your error log is when you ran that verify result. So to rebuild our data, we're going to go to File, Utilities, Rebuild Data. So this is going to take anything that verified data saw and rebuild it. Hypothetically, you can do rebuild data first. It will verify your data as part of this procedure, but it's a lot better in terms of you and your team's time to always verify first and not actually do the action of rebuilding unless there is an inconsistency. So I'll click Rebuild. Before rebuilding, a backup file must be made. So I am going to save this personally on my desktop, but what's going to happen is it most likely will open up to where your company file is stored. You do not want to store it there. For the sake of your data integrity, and if anything were to go wrong, you want to keep backups typically, off the server or somewhere where a data breach or a data error source isn't going to impact both of them, because this is the control, so that if ever something does go wrong, you have it to pull from to rebuild your company file. So I hit save. It's backing up my data. So now it's in the process of rebuilding the data. I'm doing this one in the test server. So once the rebuild has been completed, we can view our results. So we can see that for this one, there were no issues found. Success. For a company that does have errors, it would populate with this after you rebuild your data. So what it will show you is the errors it couldn't fix and the errors it could fix. Typically, most of your errors are things that QuickBooks can fix, but we do know that from the verify screen that there were errors that we were going to have to call QuickBooks about anyhow. So it fixed these transactions for us. These two, we have to call QuickBooks support to get to the bottom of. There's nothing on our end that we can do. But that is how you verify and rebuild your data in QuickBooks Desktop. Having data integrity is huge for making sure that you're getting the results that you expect. If QuickBooks doesn't have integral data, then how can you make business decisions based off the information it provides you?